What?
We good, brother.
Man, I see it though, but I see a thing that welcome to the Bayou Ballers podcast, y'all. We didn't have some problems, but I'm looking at this thing now. We've been live streaming on Twitter or X now, but now it says you need a premium account to create live broadcasts on the platform. Please upgrade to. But nevertheless, y'all, welcome to the Bayou Ballers podcast. We are here on a live show. Thanks for tuning in on a Wednesday. My boy been traveling. I'm Thibs, your host. My guy been on a Texas tour, but how you been, brother?
Man, I've been good, bro. Just getting back from Wimbledon, so it's a good work trip. Enjoyed myself out there.
Yeah, y'all. And just because he enjoyed himself on a work trip, we're gonna make this show a little quick and sweet because he gotta have his time with his baby, man. And y'all know, everybody know how that go. He ain't seen his baby in a long time, so we gotta speed the process up. But we're gonna get into some great topics today, y'all. And little side note, y'all, I have the dogs out, so if y'all hear a roof or a bark, don't mind me. I ain't see my dogs all day, so they gotta be out. They gotta be free. But let's get into some topics, y'all. Enough of the nonsense. We're gonna open up with of course, the Dallas Cowboys, but in particular, CD Lamb, expecting not to report to camp because he wants a contract extension. 1 year left at 17.99 million, basically 18 million. But he wants a new deal. All these receivers have been getting deals. We've been covering it over the last few weeks, Trey. Do you think a deal is going to get done? We feel like we've been talking about this the longest.
Yeah.
Do you think it'll get done?
I feel like a deal gonna get done. It kind of has to get done because who else do the Cowboys truly have? I mean, you got Brandon Cooks on the roster, but you don't really have anybody behind CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks in that wide receiver rotation. I think that's been an issue for him for a long time now, is the depth at the wide receiver position. And so now you in a situation where you got to pay the best player on your team at that position, and probably I'd put him in, top 10 territory-ish. But
can't go all the way.
You gotta pay guys. Now, I'm not sure what his asking price is. And that's always a thing with the Cowboys. It's what are you asking them for and what are they willing to pay you? And eventually you're gonna find yourself somewhere in between. So I'm really curious to know what his asking price is. I haven't heard much on it, but I mean, you have to think he's gonna get paid, right? I mean,
at least 30, probably.
Who else you gonna pay? Who else is going to equal that production? You don't
Nobody
have anyone in their roster. So,
how I feel about the CeeDee Lamb thing? They have the triangle offense right now. They got Dak to pay, Micah, and CD. And I don't know who's going to get paid. You brought up the question who's going to get paid first, Micah or CD. I definitely think Micah should be the one who gets paid first. Well, it really don't matter to me, but he needs to be the priority to me, the first guy off the board. With Dak, like I said, on a past show, we gotta play it out. I'm a play it out type of guy with Dak because we seen the winning. But the Super Bowl is the goal for the team. We seen the 12 wins each of the last few seasons, but it's been a cap to it with Dak at quarterback. Now, if you want to blame Dak, whoever is to blame, but he hasn't performed great in the playoffs, like I talked about on some past shows. But I don't know if he's going to be the guy to get them over the hump. So I wouldn't give Dak that long-term $60 million a year type deal at 5 years. So, but I could get that to Micah because it's easily tradable. People are always in line to trade for superstar outside linebackers or defensive ends, either one, whatever you want to call them. He can play a lot of places. And wide receivers, people are trading for wide receivers. People traded for Tyreek. They traded for Devontae Adams, and somebody always looking for an explosive receiver to help the quarterback out, a young quarterback out. So CD, I think he'll get his deal done. Like you said, who else they going to pay? Not get it out of the way. Because if you move on from Dak, you still gonna need a target on the outside. So that's what I think about that. CD holding out. How long you think he's gonna hold out? Do you think he'll miss a game?
I don't think he's going to end up missing games. I think they'll figure it out at least sometime in the preseason. Like I don't think he'll play the preseason, but I think they'll figure out his contract before the regular season.
But why? Why has it come this far? If you
Why
just
has
go
like as far
Buffalo,
as
if you go to
contract?
if you're the Cowboys, if you go to sign up in the preseason, why make them wait? Why we gotta miss out on training camp? Why are we doing this?
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't extend them last year because that was a perfect opportunity. And maybe I guess they wanted to take that wait and see approach and see how he performed as a
Yeah.
true number one wide receiver. And he
And the
did
number
pretty
going
damn
up.
good. So
Yeah.
the numbers went up. So now you have to pay him because now you're stuck. Because if you telling me
Yeah.
Brandon Cook's going to have to be your number one wide receiver going forward, y'all not going to win a lot of ball games.
And they still got Michael Gallup, right?
He just retired. Nope.
He just retired.
Yeah, he
Injuries.
actually signed with the Raiders and then he retired. So
Dang,
either injuries or one practice
just,
with the Raiders to do it to you, but
who did that? Who else did that? Scotty Miller? No. A
Lance
guy who
Moore
went
did
to
that with the
Buffalo.
Falcons.
No, so a recent guy.
Cornerback, man. He quit mid-game, though. He
No,
retired
that's
mid-game.
Vontae Davis.
Yeah.
No, it was a recent guy like a year ago or 2 years ago. He got picked up on the practice. I think it was Scott. No, I don't know if it was Scotty Miller. Somebody went to the Bucks or the Bills. Oh, Cole Beasley. He got picked up by some team, and after one practice, it was done. He was done. But let's get on to some more football, y'all. We got some quarterback controversy, QB battle, with some rookie quarterbacks in New England and Minnesota. Jacoby Brissett has opened training camp as QB1. Was that a surprise to you? That was kind of expected to me. But what about you?
Yeah, it wasn't a surprise. I think Jacoby's well respected in the league, and he's a guy that's been in that Patriots organization before. And I think Coach Mayo, from jump, kind of always said that he wasn't going to, whoever he drafted, he wasn't going to kind of force them into a certain position. I think part of that is because he watched what happened to Mac Jones, and sometimes you just aren't ready. So you got a veteran quarterback, a guy that has won some ball games, has shown he can be a pretty good bridge quarterback, and Jacoby Brissett. So it's not surprising.
Exactly.
The only thing that's surprising to me, to be honest with you, is that you could have easily kept Mac, did the same thing, had Jacoby do a reset, and he used the third pick on Marvin Harrison Jr. because they have no wide receivers. And that's partially probably they don't really have a lot of weapons offensively. Offensive line is kind of shaky. And so you don't want to ruin your rookie quarterback before he has an opportunity. Now, look, do I think Jacoby's going to hold the job the whole season? No. It wouldn't surprise me if Drake May ends up starting the season as the quarterback. But I do think Coach Mayo is, one, trying to take off some of the pressure for Drake to be ready right away, but also maybe pushing him a little bit to say, hey, if you want that opportunity, we're not going to give it to you just because you're the third overall pick. You're going to have to earn it. You have to beat this guy out. So, a little coaching going
on. And Minnesota, JJ McCartney, Sam Darnold's getting more first team reps. This is something I probably didn't see coming up. I expected JJ to even though I wasn't high on JJ, they took him pretty high. He fell to I believe he fell to him, right? Because he was supposed to be top 5, 7, something like that. But they didn't have to move up and trade significant assets for him. But I felt he was gonna get a lot of first team reps. JJ and JJ, that's just set up the perfect setup for them two. And I thought they was gonna be more careful with him though, with his offense. They're not gonna let him just go out there and sling it. I think he's kind of like a 17 to 22 pass attempt guy. Heavy play action. I don't know how that's gonna bowl with JJ because he wants his numbers. He got paid, so but he still wants the ball. We know star receivers want to prove they're the best year in and year out. So, but do you think that says more about JJ McCartney? Them just wanting a more stable veteran guy and Sam Darnold, who was a top pick himself coming out of USC.
Yeah, and I think that's part of it. I think somebody that's stable and a veteran in the league. I mean, the Vikings looked like they were coming on strong before Kirk Cousins got injured. And I think you got a lot of veterans on that team that aren't necessarily ready for a rebuild per se. And so having a guy like Sam Darnold, no, he's not some elite quarterback by any means, but he's somebody that, has got a cup of coffee and some change in the league. And when you're talking about a guy like Justin Jefferson, he's going to probably want somebody that's a little more stable too. And the worst thing you want to do for a young quarterback who we have a lot of question marks about if he can win games with his arm, because we didn't really see it that much in college. The last thing you want is to tick off the big time receiver that you just pay a lot of money to. And that could ruin some player confidence. So I'm probably as least surprised by this than I was with the Drake May thing, just because when I saw Sam Darnold even signed there, I kind of figured that he'd at least get every opportunity to be the day one starter. And this could be a little front office management of, hey, if Sam Darnold does really well and maybe there's some injuries going on in the season and somebody's looking for a quarterback to come in, or he signs a deal elsewhere in the offseason and you get a comp pick, because you already know JJ McCarthy's your guy, but there's no pressure to play him right now. You can easily get something in return from that 1-year deal with Sam Darnold. So I can see them maybe trying to play Sam at first and see how we can bowl for them in the future with picks, whether it's a trade or a comp pick because he signed somewhere else.
How I feel about I feel if you're gonna I keep saying damn I don't know why. I feel if you're gonna start a rookie quarterback, start a veteran like Sam Darnold. It's crazy we calling Sam Darnold a veteran. I feel like he just was drafted like 2 years ago,
he's
but
still only like 25. Like he ain't
like,
old.
with just like his 14, I believe. But if you're gonna start a veteran at the beginning of the season, I believe if you're not vying for a playoff position, if you're not in win now mode, I think you should probably let that veteran quarterback go all the way through a finish, and let the rookie quarterback get like the last 4 games, something like that. It's if you're out of playoff contention by that time. If say you're about 7 wins before, I don't want to say 7 wins because you could pull off 4 in a row, but like 5 wins, something like that, out of playoff contention. And they're in a tough division as well. They got Green Bay and Detroit over there, so it's going to be tough for them to make the playoffs. So they're going to have to be real steady from the beginning of the season. But that's my take on it. If you got a veteran quarterback and you don't want to put your rookie quarterback in harm's way, just throw him out there to the wolves, and he puts out bad tape, and everybody got the pressure on him, and and everything coming out of the first season is going to be bad pick Minnesota. Let him lean in the back, let him learn a little bit, let him get adjusted. And if the season is gone by the end, throw him in for 4 games, let him get some on-field practice, and take it into next year, let him get a fresh start second year after a good learning. That happens a lot. Like in the NBA, a lot of pressure is not unless you Wemby, the first picks. It's not a lot of pressure on like NBA top picks. Like this year, it's not going to be pressure on none of the top picks from the NBA draft. But that's how I feel with the rookie quarterbacks. We got a couple a little NBA news, some extensions. We're gonna fly through y'all until we get to the Saints on topics. But we're gonna get on a recent one, which is Tom Thibodeau. 3-year extension for the Knicks. They've been busy this offseason, my guy. Mikal Bridges re-signing OG. They lost Isaiah Hartenstein. Still need a center. So, and they lock up their coach who played everybody 48 minutes. And they re-signed Jalen Brunson. You wanted to go courtside last year, bro. Stephen A. Hey, wifey. You wanted to go courtside last year with Stephen A. You didn't get to go, bro. But how you feel about Tom re-signing?
Well, I hope they re-sign the physical therapists and the medical staff and everybody else too, because they're gonna need them. 3 years of Thibs. That's like that's 300. That's 300 years of
that's like 6 years, huh? That's doubling.
So, but I mean, I'm gonna say this: he deserves it, and I think it's showing. I don't know who's talking to Dolan over there, but it at least shows that some good things are happening in New York, and there's some
Leon Rose.
Because
more of Leon Rose.
Because man, I remember what Mike Woodson won 57 games a year, one season, and then got fired the next year, and it didn't make any sense. And then it's like, why would you fire a coach that won that many games? So to see Thibs with the work he put in, taking over an organization that really didn't have too many expectations at all, and kind of turning them around to where, at the very least, they're thinking, hey, we can definitely make the playoffs, be a top 3 or 4 seed in the Eastern Conference, and maybe compete for an Eastern Conference title. So, 3-year extension. Of course, we know extensions mean nothing in professional sports. I mean, if stuff hits the fan, he's not going to see the end of that extension. But again, I think it just kind of shows where the Knicks are heading, that they have beliefs in Coach Thibs and his coaching staff and the direction he's done with the roster. So hopefully that means things going to keep going on the up and up. I hope they don't stay complacent. And they're always trying to improve. Because guess what? I still want to sit courtside with Stephen A. So there's still an avenue to do that. Let's make that happen. But it's good. He deserved it for what he did for the New York Knicks organization. And I think his players are definitely going to love it. Probably not going to love the practices, but if they keep having the same results minus the injuries, I think they'll be all right.
Side note, only way you sitting courtside with the Knicks is versus the Dallas get married game. Where you at?
Nah, I'm gone. First class. First class
fight with the flow seats, huh? You gotta wear your best dress suit, man, because Steve may be coming with it, brother.
You already know.
You gotta wear something colorful. Tom, I think he deserves it. It's kind of like he fits their aura over there. It's like hard-nosed, tough players, gonna play it out, gonna play 6-7 guys each series when it comes to the playoffs. And Leon Rose he turned the Knicks around, man. He's been doing a good job over there, man. I don't know too much how much Dolan is involved, but I know ever since Leon Rose has got involved over there, and he's kind of like a player guy, coming from that agent role. The team building has been great. They got their wings, they got their point guard at a cheap price. They're like the second team I can see challenging the Celtics. I don't know about Philly, but I definitely know the Knicks can challenge the Celtics with their roster because their roster is pretty similar. They don't have like the star power with like Tatum and Brown, but they have the guys there to defend them and challenge them with Mikal and OG, DiVincenzo, Josh Hart. They got a variety of wings they can throw at you. So I'm looking forward to seeing a matchup like that. I think that should be like a Christmas matchup, them two. Yeah. Speaking of the Celtics, my transition's been deadly lately. That's in a good way, y'all. That's in a good way when I say deadly. Celtics officially running it back. They resigned their last rotation guy, Sam Hauser. Everybody is locked up now. Derek White got an extension. Drew Holiday got an extension. Jaylen Brown got his $300 million last year. Jason Tatum got his $300 million this offseason. Al Horford's been signed. Kristaps Porzingis was locked up from his trade. He didn't have to sign. Sam Hauser just resigned. And the other, Xavier Tillman resigned. Who's the other guy? Luke Cornett resigned. Yep. And one more guy who I'm forgetting. Oh, Peyton Pritchard resigned last year. So everybody is locked up. They're officially running it back. Do you like this team for a repeat? You don't have to give me but do you like them contending again?
I think they'll definitely contend. I don't know about repeat.
No repeat. No repeats in the last 6 years.
Right. You know what? I'm looking at them, and I kind of look at them as a reason, like when the Spurs, they never went back-to-back in their core. And I think that was partially because they're like, okay, well, we got Timmy Manu and Tony, and we'll just keep everybody else and we'll be good where they had opportunities to maybe improve the roster. And I think the Celtics, they probably had opportunities to improve the roster, but this year's class wasn't that, that magnificent.
I think they did it last year.
Right?
They did it last year. Yeah. Drew Holiday and Porzingis in one offseason for nothing. Like literally nothing except for Marcus Smart. Like you turn Marcus Smart into Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday is a better Marcus Smart. And Kristaps Porzingis is a guy who's a difference maker, can stretch the floor. And also, the contract those guys got,
very
like
tradable.
Hauser, what you say is that? Very tradable? Yes, very tradable. So if they want to upgrade Hauser With his 4 years, 45. That's about the mid-level exception, a little bit under that. I can't see them trading Derek White or Drew Holiday. But those are tradable too. Those are good numbers. So if they want to revamp around Tatum and Brown, say like a year from now, they're gonna definitely run it back. But if they want to upgrade Hauser and Garnett, I think they'll be able to do that with those salaries that they have to upgrade and get a better player if they want to. So I
Yeah,
like
I
the
just would
Celtics
have
team,
liked
man.
them.
I don't
Yeah,
see too many holes.
yeah, I would have liked them to maybe upgrade the backup center position,
Mm-hmm.
especially if KP now that he's had surgery and it
Yeah,
takes
he's
him a
gonna
little bit
miss.
of time,
He's gonna
right?
miss the beginning of the season, I believe.
Yeah,
I think
I
he's
think
coming back
he is.
January.
And then I mean, then let's say he even comes back and it's not the
Right.
same, and
Because it was a
you know,
weird injury to begin with.
it was, and I know
Mm-hmm.
you're going to roll Al Horford out there, but I just felt like maybe having just a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
diversity um, in that big man room. And we saw this year was the year for centers. I mean, they
Mm-hmm.
were just going like
Yeah, that was getting their
hotcakes.
money.
So it would have been nice to see them maybe address that position a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then maybe probably another wing defender because I mean, look, Peyton Pritchard and Sam Hauser, they did their best
Mm-hmm.
defensively, but if you could have maybe added another wing, maybe try to get like a Gary Trent Jr. who brings shooting, but is
But a
probably
vet minimum.
for a vet minimum, probably more of a high or more of a high level defender than Peyton Pritchard and Sam Hauser, who played key moments for you.
Mm-hmm.
When we think about some of the stars that missed this year's postseason and them coming back, like,
Mm-hmm.
are we going to be confident in one of those two guys being in front of Jimmy Butler or in front of a Giannis?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. So I mean, but it's a long
In front
season,
of
right?
a Philly with Paul
Yeah,
George now.
right. So
Never really had that. Philly never really had that
wing.
wing who can go out there and drop. As much as I have my um what I want to say little struggle with little back and forth with Paul George in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He can willingly score 30 on any given night. Doesn't do it enough for me, but he can do it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another team that they will have to look out for in Philly. And hopefully, I just hope I want to see him be healthy in the playoffs. I don't want to see him stumbling. He don't even look healthy with Team USA right now.
He doesn't.
And that brings me to my next point. I'm not doing this on purpose, y'all. It just comes so smooth. Team USA, man, we having some trouble early on, and Goat James got to save the day.
Mm-hmm.
What's been your thoughts against South Sudan? That was a great game. I'm not gonna lie. Team USA, I love games like that when we see teams like back against the wall, and if you turn the TV on, you be like, "Hey, what the hell going on?" Team USA down
Yeah.
12. You open your phone, you see on Twitter what's going on. Then I look and see LeBron highlight after highlight, just bullet ball. 1-3 here, but the rest of the players in the paint. What's been your take on Team USA? And do you think KD's injury, when he comes back, the games will look a little different, not as much close?
Yeah. Well, I'll start there. I mean, I think obviously when you add one of the best players in the world to the lineup, things are going to change, especially offensively. I think he's going to be somebody that's going to space the floor, but can also get his own. And because he's long, he can still play relatively good defense. But I would say the thing that stands out is the same thing that stood out in Worlds, and it's Steve Kerr and his rotations. And I think if you've talked to any Golden State Warriors fans, they looking like, I told you, we've been telling y'all forever that.
Yes, but this is the thing. He don't have a choice with the Warriors. He don't have the personnel. He gotta put Draymond at center.
But
here, oh my God, I was just talking about this at work, man. Go ahead, bro.
But it's like, why is Devin Booker starting over an Ant? Like you see, this is a different intensity there. Yeah, Joel can start. I see the need for that, but why not still have AD play more of the starting minutes, if that makes sense?
And he has been. He's been pulling Joel.
Yeah,
he's been pulling them.
Yeah, but a lot of that's been because Embiid's gotten himself in foul trouble too. And I think the big thing with Team USA, man, is that I don't know when it actually started to happen, but I feel like probably the past couple of Olympics, we've just been trying to get guys that fit together instead of getting our best player to 15. Because And I think that's what we're seeing. And then people say, well, man, how are these guys from these other squads and how they look good, but they role players in the NBA? Well, they the guys on their team, and they get that.
They're
and
more
like
free.
The need for us to, and they're more free. And
Yep.
we're trying to tell guys, hey, I need you. Well, you Drew Holiday, Derek White.
We need y'all to play this role. What do you
respect those guys, but why are they on Team USA? Like when I can think of 20 players before I get to their names.
And this is the thing, though. This is the thing. You replace Derek White with Kawhi Leonard with Derek White, and you say that's because of role. Do you think Kawhi Leonard was going to be playing Derek White role? That makes no sense to me. Kawhi Leonard was not going to be guarding the best players, coming off an injury, being a spot, sitting in a corner, waiting for a 3-point shot. That was not going to be Kawhi Leonard's role. So I don't know why they been picky with Derek White when they could have just picked any other body. You know, I was Kyrie should have been on it for me.
I'm like Jaylen Brown, Kyrie,
because Tyrese Halliburton not even playing.
Like
what are we doing? Why is Tyrese Halliburton on here?
He should be there to help generate offense, but I don't know. Steve Kerr is one of those guys that seems like he has them personal vendettas. You see how he plays with Ant, how he plays with Tyrese. Ain't no way you're gonna be having all those turnovers offensively, and you have a true point guard on your team, probably the only true point guard on the roster, and you say, yeah, he's not gonna play tonight.
I'm gonna tell you something that's right here. Tyrese on this team, I don't know if it will work because I know he's a assist. Mm-hmm. He's just an assist maniac. He always looking for a guy, but there's so many guys on the flow. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he would. I don't know if he ever played around that many like talented players. Like, who are you gonna like? Who do you prefer? Who do you gonna pass to the most? I know it sounds kind of like funny, but if you got LeBron over here, you got Curry over here, KD, you're trying to feed everybody, but it ain't gonna work like that all the time. So you might get a little bit indecisive, but LeBron has to been carrying saving them a little bit. So
he definitely been turning it up in a full quarter of games. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I was looking at the last one. I was like, honestly, if the Lakers actually had a roster that could be okay for 3.5 quarters and then let LeBron finish it, they probably win more championships with him on the roster. But and look, I don't think he's going to end up having to do that all the time. I think KD coming in is going to help take a lot of that going to turn up off. And there's going to be, but it's just some of these rotations, man. I just don't understand. And
who's your starting five?
Feel like my starting five, I'd put Bron, KD, Ant, Steph, and Embiid. And I start Embiid because I love that Bam. I love that Bam AD lineup.
I love that too. Active, switchable. I love it.
It's just I feel like sometimes it takes too long for them to sub in. And it's going to be some teams where it's okay and you can wait a while, but then I think you're probably going to play some games where you need them in the first 2 or 3 minutes. And so as a coach, you got to kind of be on the fly with that. And I feel like Steve Kerr, that's just not his thing. Like I think he'll just rather.
He's not a bigs coach, man. He's not a bigs coach.
He's not.
And he might have trouble against France when they play France. If he doesn't have maybe they have Rudy and your guy Wemby. You're gonna have to have some size out there. I don't
have to have some shooters too.
KD, I think he'll be able to don't take this the wrong way, but match up with Victor. Because Victor doesn't play too much in the paint. And I think that'll be a fine matchup for KD. He won't out overpower KD. And then beating Rudy, hey, that's gonna be Embiid's matchup to win. But Embiid has been pretty slow out there. I don't want to say a cone, but he's been, I would say, because he's too big to be a cone. He's like a tower. He's just like he's like sitting out there and he's not moving well to me. Yeah. I don't want to cast an injury on him. Obviously, he's healthy enough to play. The Sixers letting him play. He's playing. Yeah. He's starting. But Steve Kerr has to get it together out there, man.
We're going to have to figure out the guards because that's really the differentiator. And you see it when we play teams with good guard play, we're struggling. When we play teams with shaky guard play, we're going to blow them out. Serbia, guard play, blew them out. Canada, Germany, even South Sudan got some guys at the guard position. They got the the G
Man,
League score. Like,
Germany, you saw Germany
so
sharpshooter. That guy, what his
ops,
name was Post.
ops, or something like
Man,
that.
Ops, this man was shooting like
I don't know.
his release was like 2 seconds and it was water.
But that
But
just
yeah,
shows how talented the NBA is because this guy can't get a roster spot in the
man,
league.
that guy deserves a
Crazy.
roster. The NBA just so caught up on analytics, 3 and D.
Mhm.
Most of these guys, most of the 3 and D guys get scored on by 30. So it ain't nobody really stopping nobody until you come to the playoffs.
Hey
But
man, come be a San Antonio women. We could use you, dog.
come on, man. They need some better shooters in the NBA because the NBA is full of guys who can dunk, who can't shoot free throws or threes. Um,
Amen.
but let's get to Andre Nimhard extension for the Pacers, 3 years, 60 million. We can fly through this for the Pacers. They locked up one of their guys, 20 million a year, another tradable contract, but he definitely deserves it. Tyrese went out and he basically was the lead ball handler for them against the Knicks.
Yep.
Not the Knicks, Celtics in the conference finals. Yeah. Had some big shots too as well. Against the Knicks. But he deservedly 20 million. I'm not gonna complain with the number because I know the salary cap now, and it's just I don't want to be a broken clock anymore with these numbers. I don't want to keep saying people are overpaid, but that's just my take on it. What you think about the deal, man?
I mean, it is good. He deserved it, especially what he did in the playoffs. I'm trying to think of the guy that got hurt for that team that comes off the bench for him.
Mathurin, Benedict,
Ben Mathurin. So I'm assuming he comes back, he's going to take a lot of that scoring load. But what Andrew Nembhard brings is a guy that you can play opposite Tyrese Halliburton that can take on that. I'm going to take the best guard. So Tyrese doesn't have to do that. He's a guy that obviously can shoot the three pretty well, and he can generate his own offense. Everything doesn't have to be so Tyrese driven. So, hey, you can still run some offense through Nembhard as well. So just another example of, hey, the Pacers had a really good season and they want to try to keep guys, and it's at a reasonable price. You're not breaking the bank to keep a guy that's essentially a role player for you. And hopefully with some of the guys that are getting back and then a full season with Pascal Siakam with them, you're hoping that, hey, they can make another run, probably be a little bit better than the 6th seed. A lot of that was because Tyrese did get hurt at one point in the season. But they also brought back TJ McConnell too. So they're going to run it back.
That's a big pickup for him. He was very explosive for them and just a ball of energy. But like I said a couple episodes ago when we were talking about the Pacers, I think they're going to take a step back. They wouldn't have made out that Milwaukee series if Giannis was there. It would have been an early exit for them. So they got lucky, kind of like a bunch of teams got lucky with injuries in the East. So they second round max next year for me, and they'll surprise me if they get to the second round because unless they have a awesome regular season and they face a pretty bad we know the East 7 and 8 seed be pretty compared to the West. So one more rookie extension that happened last week. Your guy Evan Mobley. I say your guy.
I because you
and you tweeted. I told you when you tweeted this. You already know. We already talked about all the rookie extensions. Franz Wagner, Cade Cunningham. Who was the other guy? Scotty Barnes. All these guys got their rookie extensions. Don't be surprised. What it is, 5 years, 224 could be up to 260 if he gets Defensive Player of the Year, MVP, All NBA honors. Any one of those. Thoughts, my guy. Let the people.
My thing was the max. Like, look, let him extend the guy. The max. Like,
man, you know how he's gonna look if they don't
offer
Jared
their rookie
pick
threes. He a Jared Allen that can shoot threes, and he ain't even that good at that.
I was about to say he can't really shoot threes.
But you know what, man? But the Cavaliers you gotta keep your guys. You picked them 4th overall.
Yeah,
you already paid Donovan Mitchell. I think Garland isn't up for a while. You're probably gonna end up trading Jared Allen at some point, even though your head coach doesn't want you to. And I think maybe that's what a lot of this was about is, hey, there's still a chance that we might be moving on from Jared. So we got to make sure we shore it up. We shirt up at the big position. And look, Evan Mobley showed some things in the playoffs, showed some flashes, so maybe
Mm-hmm.
he builds off of that. Because I do think he has to become a little bit more than a role player.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there's no reason why, from an offensive standpoint, in the starting lineup, he shouldn't be the second best guy on that team.
You think he
Because
should become you think he should become a little bit better than the role? I would hope so.
I
He
think
making
I think
224 million.
yeah,
I
I
would
think
hope
he
so.
should
He ain't
become a
no
little
just
bit
a
better
role
than
player.
Darius Garland because you have Donovan Mitchell,
Mm-hmm.
and we already talked about kind of the whole small guard lineup. And I
Yep.
think if Evan steps his game up, that could make it a little bit easier to move off of Darius Garland. Because right now, if you move off of him, I
You
mean,
have
in
no
the starting
creator.
lineup, you
You
don't
got
have
Karis
anybody.
LeVert.
Right, you got Karis LeVert, but he much better coming off the bench. So, you know,
Right.
I think part of this is kind of a future move of, hey, we may not be the same team 2 years from now. Hell, Donovan Mitchell isn't happy despite him signing the extension. We know that don't mean anything. He can
Yeah.
demand a trade.
I think
So
he be traded next year. How it's going with Cleveland. It took too long for me. I
right,
don't know why these deals take that. Why we got to drag these deals out? What be going on behind the scenes?
right, because we
Well,
about to be coming football season. Why we
like,
right now
yes,
these
like
teams ain't
why
getting
this day? Why
like
you can't sign the extension the first date? Because ain't like the Cavs
right,
made any moves where he like, yeah, all right, I'm gonna sign now.
like
Get
summer
it out the
vacation.
way.
Summer vacation almost over. Y'all about to report the training camp.
Exactly. Like, what's going on, man? But like I said, I'm a big fan of guys improving
Mm-hmm,
besides going out and getting different players. Evan Mobley should be, he should, like you say, he should be able to be a viable second option on that team. You have the build. They gave you the money. You have the ability. You should be able to get that. Let me ask you this question: who you think had
mm-hmm.
a better season last year, Chet Holmgren or Evan Mobley?
Chet. I just felt like he made a
More
presence
more of an impact.
and more
More
of
of
an
an impact,
impact.
right?
He,
Yeah.
he didn't handicap, and he didn't handicap the Thunder at all on either end. I don't think.
Yes, and that's a point that I was trying to make because this is Chet's first year.
Mm-hmm,
He played 82 games after missing the whole first year, so he made up for that missed season. But you saw his impact instantly. The
mm-hmm.
length, the 3-point shooting, the shot creation, the passing ability. The Cavs have to move Evan Mobley to center. I know they don't want to do it, but they can't babysit him anymore. He has to be the center now. He has to move there, and he has to. That'll open up the whole offense for the Cavs. They definitely need to address the guard defensive position though, because Donovan Mitchell and Garland are not enough, and Max Strus at the small forward
Yeah.
isn't enough of a presence on a wing or the perimeter to defend guys. But let's get to what everybody was waiting for, the Saints news of the day. Y'all know what's going on. Y'all know what's going on. This is our team. We love our team, but our team has some bad news. And before we drop it,
You know the facts.
you know the facts, and the facts is iffy right now. We're gonna cover a couple things. We're gonna cover Rashid Shaheed, one strange 1-year extension deal.
Mm-hmm.
Ramcheck out for the season. And I think most of us saw that coming.
Mm-hmm.
Kendre Miller hamstring. Trey just kind of pissed me off earlier, sending that text to me right before we got on. That was a shocker to me. And Kamara, Dennis Allen confident he'll show up to camp. Still no new deal for him. But let's start off quickly with Rashid Shaheed, 1-year extension for $5.2 million. What you thought of this? I thought it was pretty strange.
The thing with it, I think it was kind of a good extension for
Mm-hmm.
both parties, mainly because it's going to give Shaheed an opportunity to get some more money. Because
Exactly.
you got to think about it. He came in last year as wide receiver 3 behind Michael Thomas and Chris Olave. And so now we're kind of putting that expectation on him to, hey, you got to be the number 2 guy and probably in some points be the number 1 guy in certain games. And so I don't think the Saints would have made a longer term commitment, and it probably wouldn't have been in his best interest to sign a long term deal. And then next year he's like, man, I overplayed my contract. Well, you already signed it, partner. So
Right.
I think it's good for both parties. And I think if he does well, if he's kind of on par of what he was last year, and then adding on top of what he does with special teams,
Mm-hmm.
I could see him somewhere in the $15 to $20 million range. hoping that is more so in the 15 to 18 as opposed to when you get past 20s. All depends on how the money
So
is
what if he
next
has
year.
a breakout season?
If you
Can
have the
you still
breakout
in
season,
Jalen Waddle
yeah.
territory?
If he have a breakout season, it's going to probably end up being in the Jalen Waddle territory, mainly because if he continues to perform, that's going to end up being a discount by the time it's all said and done. So I can see that, but it was a good opportunity for both sides, I think, because I personally don't think the Saints, if I was the Saints front office, I wouldn't have poured like multiple years and a great deal of money yet, because I don't even know if he's truly my wide receiver too. I think there's a lot of guys fighting for that position right now. So, so it was kind of good for both parties, in my opinion. What about you?
You know what I think about the Saints right now? No long-term extensions for nobody. No long-term extensions. I think this deal was basically a 1-year extension to give them more time to frame a deal if he has a big season, because that they give them themselves more time going into next season. If he has a breakout season, 1,000 yards, let's say about 8 touchdowns, some big impact down the field plays, loud plays. We know he's that big play guy. I think, like you said, he could come around like a 3-year, I don't know, like a 3-year 60 something, maybe something like that. If they want to go short term, we know we've seen these 3-year deals now. But I definitely think the Saints can have two. We get back to those Michael Thomas, Brandon Cook 2,000-yard receiver type years right now with Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed covering all that ground down the field, because our wide receiver 3, like we discussed a lot, is open. So those guys, Olave and Shaheed, should get a lot of targets. And I think Derek Carr and Shaheed has some chemistry.
Yeah.
But Derek Carr has to put the ball where it needs to be down the field.
Yeah,
On the deep balls.
Too.
He has to put the ball where it needs to be. That deep ball can't be looking like he's a last year Peyton Manning, wobbling and all type of things like that. So, but we're gonna move on to our guy. After a good extension, we have some injuries. Ryan Ramczyk out for the season with this knee injury that has been bothering him for the last couple of years, which is why he doesn't practice much during the week. If you ever watch the Saints, see the injury report, he doesn't practice at all much. He just basically does walkthroughs, and he plays Sunday through the pain. Reports have been he's been rehabbing it throughout the offseason away from the Saints, but no real solution to his problem. So we don't know if it was on the table that he was going to retire. Looks like he's not. He might try to come back next year, but great player, man. He was a great draft pick for the Saints. Solid right tackle, but look like our guy Fuanga is gonna have to show up our line this year.
Yeah.
What do you think about this, man?
Yeah, man. It's sad because he's been such a staple for our offensive line for such a long time. And obviously we know that's been kind of the Achilles heel of the offense for the most part. Is the offensive line. And so we were hoping that he could battle back and be healthy enough for the season, but just getting take. And to be honest with you, I think this is more so signifying his retirement, but he just can't retire this year because if he does, it's going to kill our cap.
Okay.
And I think, after this season, I could see them saying, hey, call it the career, appreciate you, think about you. And think about this, he's about to have a year off from football. So who knows what he's going to be able to do and
he get to reflect.
And kind of say, you know what, man, this time with my family, my friends, all these things I got to do. Yeah, I love my brothers and playing for my teammates, but it's probably in the best interest for me and my family to retire. And then obviously it'll be a little bit more cap compliant next offseason as opposed to what it would have been this offseason if he had retired. But I mean, look, we love the Kamara pick right in 2017, but I think this guy was probably the one that really helped us get back to winning from an offensive standpoint. When you think about that offensive line,
Yeah,
and
he shored up that right side, man.
And what we were
shored
going
that
through.
up.
And we could argue that it gave us a little bit more time with Drew. Him being able to shore up that side of the ball. So it's sad, man. Whenever your players, you see them come in, you want them to play forever, man. And it's just,
and it's only been 7 years. It feels longer, but it only been 7 because he came in so great. Like our draft picks, him, Lattimore, Michael Thomas, Kamara, all those guys came. Marcus Williams, all those guys came in great, and like we were spoiled from it because that was like one of the greatest drafts ever from a team. Like, so him being hurt, and I don't remember him having like a direct injury to the knee.
Yeah,
I don't know where, like, he never had like a torn ACL or meniscus tear. It's just been a degenerative knee. So sad for Rab Check, man. But come on the pod, Rab. We appreciate all your work. I ain't think I never had a bad thing to say about you on our team ever. Really. Yeah. And that offensive line been something to pick at over the last couple of years. But we got another injury. A guy we had high hopes for this season. Hopefully it's not too serious, but Kendre Miller hamstring. Opening day of training camp, and you got the quote pulled up for Dennis Allen.
Yeah.
What he said about Kendre. Mind you, y'all, this is just a quote, but it is verbatim. I haven't heard the full context, but you go ahead, Trey. Tell him what.
Yeah, so apparently Kendre Miller left this today's practice with a hamstring, and so when asked about him, this is the quote. Head coach Dennis Allen says, "That's a player who needs to figure out how to stay healthy because you can't make the team from the training room." End quote. So he definitely calling the young man out. And look, everybody responds to things differently. I know for mine, we were talking about this before the show. I'm kind of with DA on this one, especially when first practice and we talking about a hamstring injury. I think that says a lot about how you prepared between the last time we ended practice till now. And, this is his second year. He came into his NFL career injured because of what happened during the college football playoff in his last year at TCU. And so we kind of gave him a break. He showed flashes his rookie season, and almost seemed every time he showed a flash, we didn't see 25 anymore. And we're trying to figure out why. And it's like, oh, well, he nicked something and they pulled him out. And I think a lot is riding on him. I mean, we know, and we'll talk a little bit about AK later, but he's on a non-guaranteed deal right now and wanting his money. You got Jamal Williams, who probably had the worst year of his career, and so we really don't know what we're going to get from him.
Right, he was injured early in the season last year with his knee problem, and Pete Carmichael never found a role for him, so he just advocated him to fullback.
And Taysom Hill, we lean on him a lot in the run game, right? But he's getting a little bit older too, and he's been having some nicks here and there throughout his football career. And so you were expecting a guy like Kendre Miller, young, got so much energy to reboost this offense, especially the run game in this scheme. And the scene get hurt
him
with
on
a
some
hamstring. Like, man, somebody with speed like that, and it's a hamstring, and we know whether it's the hamstrings, the groins, not, especially with the Saints medical staff, bro. Like, you never want to hear those things. Like, I'd rather you say you got an injured hand or something. Like, we'll figure that out.
But soft tissues. This is what I could picture Kendre Miller just on those halfback stretches, halfback tosses that Clint zone blocking, got our guard pulling, Fuanga pulling, and just clearing away for a nice 30-yard, 22-yard game. Him coming out first. Like, I can see it. I hope he gets healthy, man. I got to see this man in preseason.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing, Tay. I think the Saints feel like they have options. Because, I mean, once we get out past our top three, obviously AK, Jamal, and Kendre, you got James Robinson, who's a veteran and did well in the league. You got Jordan Mims, who is a guy they signed on their practice squad, played with Jake Hayner at Fresno State. Kind of the similar type of back as a Kendre Miller, so a guy that will do well in this system. So
I think we're gonna have to I think we're gonna have an undrafted guy that stands out this year with our running back room. I don't know if Jamal Williams will fit in this scheme. Hopefully he has a revamp season. Hopefully Kamara is reseasoned. Hopefully we dropped him in the grease again and he pops out fresh again.
Yeah. And look,
I really want to see Kendre, man.
And we're just talking about on our roster. So obviously, preseason is a time you start to look around the league and like, who's doing what.
I like him. Yep, exactly.
So it's going to be a
But
lot of opportunities for the running back position, I think, in the New Orleans Saints organization. And look, I'm with you, bro. I'm hoping Kendre Miller figures out a way to stay healthy because we kind of got to know. Like, we know how we talk about the quarterback position, and we like, man, we just need to know if you one of them ones, if we can believe in you. I think it's the same way with
not
the
even
running back
believe,
position right now.
rely. We got to rely on him.
Because, like, if we can't rely on you now, we about to use a draft. Like, I know we about to use a draft pick on a running back, and we can't rely on a 25-year-old running back. We got to get some youth in the running back room. So
We
I
do,
don't know.
man.
But it's sad.
We do. And
Take back.
hopefully he's not our offensive Marcus Davenport. Flashes, but just can't put together a full season for us, man.
That
And
hurt.
at least
That
Davenport had some production. He
Yeah.
gave us some production when he was on the field, but he just couldn't stay on the field. Same with Peyton Turner now. This is going to be a do or die year for him. And I know this Kendre Miller's second year, but still, the need is we need him just like we need Peyton Turner. They're at serious positions that we need right now. So it's going to be amplified if you guys can't get on the field. So that's what we got. Kamara. Dennis Allen said he'll show up. Do you think a deal gets done for him? Not extension, something like McCaffrey got more guaranteed money, probably a year extension, something like that, 2 years.
And he said AK kind of talked towards his contract. He's like he didn't ask for anything crazy, so who knows what he thinks is crazy and what the Saints think is crazy is two different things. But of course, when the 25-year-old running back gets hurt, the price goes up. So I feel like a deal is gonna get done definitely now. But yeah, Coach Dennis Allen said he thinks because he showed up today, but he says he's going to practice tomorrow. He's confident in that. So I hope so because we need it. And
we sound stressed.
I am stressed. We need chemistry. We need health.
We need everything. It sounds like another 8-win season. We need too much right now, bro.
We need too much, but
man, we gotta get you out here, brother. You gotta go spend some time with the wifey, man. We went a little bit over the time, but we get a little bit excited, y'all, especially with Saints news. We gonna definitely have to do more Saints news because we get passionate. Y'all seen it. But once again, X has really grinded my gears with this premium subscription thing because y'all can't see us on Twitter right now or X. Because now we need a premium subscription, but we are on YouTube, and I might just have to get that premium subscription because you guys tuned in on Twitter. Last time I was on Twitter Live, it was like 17 people on here. So we like it, y'all. Bayou Ballers, y'all like, comment, and subscribe. And next week, I will be on vacation. This is my first time telling y'all and you, Trey. I'm gonna be on vacation, so I'm gonna be missing next week's show. Y'all can buy the Trey if he still wants to go live. Just talk anything with y'all. He might do an All Saints episode, but if he wants to vacate too, that's on him. But I will be out of the country next year, y'all. I keep saying next week. But any last words for him, brother?
Not much, man. Look, glad y'all tuning in. It's really about to get in the heart of football season, so it's going to be a whole lot of content league-wide, bro. And we didn't even touch on half the stories going around for all 32 NFL teams because there's a lot with a lot of teams riding on some different things. So looking forward to talking about that. Next week, I'm going to be at a work retreat, so that works just fine.
Right.
So
vacation everywhere.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And hopefully we telling y'all about how great the Saints looking and we sound delusional. And then we can talk about everybody else.
No, hopefully we talk about Kendre Miller is all right. That's what I need to hear. Yes. And one question for you, bro. Who is the breakout training camp guy for you? I'm going to say mine before you steal mine. Christian Boyd.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's going to be my training camp breakout. I'm going to go.
Usually be an offensive guy.
I'm gonna go Dalen Hooker at the tight end position.
Okay. Our tight end room is who? Jawan Johnson and who else after him?
Foster Moreau. And then
that's it.
Honorable mention.
Dang, we real
and Jawan hurt right now. So Hooker gonna have a bunch of opportunities.
Okay. Colorado State guy, right?
Yep.
All right. I like that guy. So he's another receiving tight end. So Juwan gonna have some competition. But once again, y'all, Bayou Ballers, happy Wednesday. Y'all see. Goodbye to my guy Trey. Go and spend some lovely time with his wife, man. See y'all later.